Greetings, strangers, queer and pleasant. I'm not Laura Kate Magnet Dale.
And I'm not Jane Aerith Magnet Dale. And welcome to another episode of Queer and Pleasant Strangers.
We're back.
We're
It's
back.
been a while.
It's been a while, and we're about to vanish for a few weeks again. But we're in the eye of the storm.
The eye of the storm.
Yeah.
Do 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 do.
We've not been around for like 3 weeks because we've been doing Bridge Command Campaign Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And we've not yet finished that. We've got Halloween missions and then 2 more weeks of campaign to do. But we had 1 week where scheduling was such that we had a little gap.
And we had time to talk about all the things we've done.
Not all the things. I think if we talked about
Many of the things we've
I
done.
think if we talked about all the things, we would be here for
3 more weeks.
too long. I would be asleep by the end of it,
Oh,
probably. It'd be too
Sleepy
sleepy.
little bean.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
cozy and sleepy.
You are real cozy.
What you been playing this last few weeks?
I've been playing with recipes. I made a really good winter cake.
Yeah, is that going in the played section?
No, I just wanted to talk about winter cake because winter cake was delicious.
Yeah,
It had cinnamon and ginger and nutmeg in it, and it was delicious.
It was very good. It was very good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, have
Played?
Yeah.
I delved into Next Fest, so I played a lot.
You've been playing a bunch of different demos, unlike me, who latched onto like 2 big things over the last few weeks.
Some of them were really good. Some of them, not so much. Not so much. But I did play a bunch of demos. I played Cinecross, which is a Picross roguelike RPG type thing. As someone who enjoys nonograms enough to have accessibility assisted on Squeakcross.
This is the one where I looked over and for a second I went, is this content in Ball X Pit that I've somehow not yet unlocked?
Yes.
It had a very similar, like, aesthetic tone to
chunky
it.
chunky pixel graphics, and sort of dark and grungy. Yes, interesting. It falls down on nonograms on a couple of ways. Like it's obviously doing puzzles, following the usual rule of like a Picross or any other kind of nonogram.
Which, for anyone who doesn't know, like, what's the deal
It's a
with
grid.
those?
It's a grid, like usually 5x5 in this game, but they do get harder. And then you have like numbers, and the numbers are the points you chip out or mark as not a thing. So if you had a grid of 5x5 and one of your clues was 2-2, you'd know automatically it was 2 at the start, gap, 2 in the middle.
Yeah, because that's the only
So
way
the
that
other
you
end.
could have a pair and a pair
Indeed.
and not have it just be a 4.
Yeah, like 1-3 would be 1 blank 3,
Yeah.
or 3 blank
And the
1
more
blank
you
3.
fill in, the more you're able to, like, understand what other ones you fill in.
Indeed.
And then it's a picture at the end, usually.
No,
No?
that's where it falls down. It's not a picture at the end.
Oh.
It's just, okay, you've done that, move on to the next thing.
Oh, so it's, you can't use context clues of, I've recognised what this is a picture of, and therefore can kind of guess what some of the remaining spaces will be.
And that's one of my biggest problems with it, because as you get to harder ones, there's a couple of things that happen as the game gets harder, and especially when you get to boss areas. Firstly, all of the puzzles are timed, which I'm not totally adverse to, but instead of being like, here's half an hour, do an onogram that's 20 by 20 or something.
Yeah.
It's, here is like a 10 by 15 you've got, or even like a 15 by 5.
Yeah.
You've got a minute and a half to do it, and you will lose time and health for mistakes. And as you go further through the roguelike like progression system, you will find that like things are getting faster. Some of the bosses will do like double damage. The boss that basically made me go, this game is not going to work for my disabled ass.
Yeah.
Was periodically, like every 5 seconds, which is far too often, start just refilling things back in.
Oh,
Start just like blanking them back out again. It's like, that's a great idea. That should not be my first boss.
It reminds me of, in theory, I liked the idea, but had a similar problem with A Little to the Left. And that was a game about like sorting things into orders. And originally, I'll put aside the problems I originally had that kind of got fixed. My biggest issue was they started introducing a cat that messes things up, and I couldn't do the levels fast enough. Like, the cat was messing them up faster than I could do them, and that just became a hard completion barrier to me. And I was like, this sounds like a similar issue.
This does have that sort of like I'm being trolled by the game aspects.
Yeah.
I played through the tutorial, I played through like a couple of runs, and it was always that we're gonna delete stuff boss blind, I guess, that was fucking it up every time for me. And like even so, like I was regularly getting to like the end of a thing, it's like you've run out of time. So you're just gonna keep constantly taking damage now.
Yeah.
Instead of like losing time. And that was just like, yeah, okay, I've just about made it through. Now I don't have any health, but I'm at the boss. Okay, cool. And yeah, you can take different routes to the boss. You can obviously take an easier route, but you'll get less good rewards.
Yeah.
The fact that like even when you're supposedly getting good rewards, you can regularly have the fruit machine style reward system spin and just give you nothing. Is kind of poop.
Yeah.
It's like, so I risked it to do a slightly harder one to try and have more resources. And what you've given me is fuck all.
You mean 0 reward for making this harder on myself?
I don't know if that's just because of the demo or what, but it's just like, that also does not feel good.
Oh no.
But, that. Other than that, like, the idea's fascinating. I do like the idea of boss fighting and enemy fighting with nanograms.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you played?
We can't talk in huge depth about this, but considering that we've missed 3 weeks of recording this because of Bridge Command, should we talk a little bit about
Bridge Command?
Yeah, Bridge Command. So we've talked about this before. It's kind of video game, kind of LARP, kind of live action theatre.
Space LARP.
Go do Star Trek in like under a bridge in London. This is your first time doing a campaign.
It is. Your second.
How are you finding the campaign?
I can see why they say the campaigns are designed for 10 people.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. The story's fascinating.
Yes.
I'm absolutely down for the story. Our crew are mostly lovely. I'm having a lovely time chatting to them. And our captain not only writes his logs, but also does an audio version of them, and he's got a very good voice, and his logs are very nice to listen to.
Indeed. Yes,
I've had fun with the fact that I'm playing the ship's doctor. And I have a stethoscope, and I have little waterproof sea life plasters to put on people if they get a boo boo. There've been no boo boos so far. We've done some exploring. I'm also the engineer on the shuttle, which is way more interactive because I do actually get to do things, and I'm getting better at like overclocking systems at least on the shuttle. Like I wouldn't necessarily overclock in the same way on the main ship. It's because it takes way longer to recharge the batteries.
Yeah, it's we snuck you in as an 11th person. There was an opportunity to go, we can get you in on a campaign where and you just show up and it'll happen.
Hello.
And it is balanced for 10 and you are an 11th, but it meant that we got to bring you along on the story, and I'm glad that you're there.
I've been fascinated by the story.
I've been hugely enjoying your presence as engineer on the shuttle. Your overclocking systems you've kept us so well in the loop on the status of the shuttle, so we know how to make good tactical decisions while in there, but also like, oh, we're in combat. Oh, you've powered up the maneuvering while we turn around. You've powered up the weapons while we're firing. You've powered up
the missiles so that you can transfer weapons into the wet loading tubes quicker.
Yeah, you've been very on it, and I have very much appreciated your input there.
Yeah.
We obviously can't talk about the narrative because we are the first group of people to
run this particular
campaign. I don't believe anyone else has started or even booked in dates to do this narrative. And it has big ramifications narratively. It has been exciting being like the only ones in the know on like where Bridge Command is going, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then seeing that like bits of it sort of happening in special events and stuff.
Yeah, because we can talk about this. We did a special event a couple of weeks ago called Operation Daedalus.
Yes.
We talked about special events before when you did the Perfect Storm.
Yes.
They're like 4 hours long, 40-ish people. You get a couple of goes going out on ships. You have some things going on back at the Warspite, like as a big group.
An awful lot of actors involved.
Yeah. Daedalus was, and again, Daedalus I think is getting declassified in the next couple of weeks. So like we can maybe talk about it.
Talk more about it.
But Daedalus, because we were like 2 episodes into the campaign at that point, we had, I think, unique insights into Daedalus that no one else in the room had.
Yes. We had seen pieces of intel already.
Yeah, there were things that were like big moments where we were like, I'm so surprised. I could not have known about some of these.
I definitely don't know if anyone else in this room has the clearance for me to engage further in this. I will ask a couple of the actors involved in the campaign, like, what do you think of this?
Yeah.
And they'll just walk off and just be like, nope.
Yeah, but that interplay between what is public knowledge and what we are exploring in our secret little group has been, like, if nothing else, like, I'm so glad I'm in on this campaign story-wise, because it's having really interesting impacts other places.
Yeah, I mean, whoever is in charge of writing the stories for these things, I think they're doing a brilliant job. I like that, like, we've noticed a few times that there's very deliberately, in a few cases, been put in place these long flights between a thing. So that you could all just have a moment. You're still on the ship, you're still engaged in things, but you can, like, theorize and plot and plan on what to do next.
We got a 27 sector flight to this destination.
Yeah, that's only like 5 minutes, but it's 5 minutes that you can sit and have a think about things.
At warp 3, that's going to take us a minute. Let's talk stuff through.
Yeah. And it's like, the helm still has to keep an eye on things. Yeah. Engineering also has to kind of keep an eye on things. Yeah. Nav, again, has to keep an eye on things. But everyone else can kind of flutter about a bit.
Yeah. Like, being a few missions into this, like, I definitely stand by the fact, if you think you're going to do 5 missions, find a campaign group and do a campaign.
Yep.
Even if, like, narratively, it's really unique. Daedalus was my first special event, and, like, while I can't go into huge depth on it, definitely chaotic having that many people trying to work together on a thing.
Yep.
I was very impressed at how well they told a cohesive story that mixed that chaos with, like, a structure and plan. I can talk about some of this because, like, some of this has been more publicly talked about. Our experience of Daedalus involved the death of a character, who was a major part of my first Bridge Command campaign.
Yes.
And I feel like it's no accident that they grouped together a lot of us that were on that campaign with that character to be a team that was sort of relevant to some events that happened in Daedalus. And I think it's very impressive how they were like, if we're going to do this plot beat, let's group the people who are going to be most narratively impacted by it together so that they can be close to the events happening.
And also, we should point out, like, this was a rerun of Daedalus. They had run Daedalus a couple of weeks beforehand, and this was a rerunning of it with slightly different things happening.
Yeah, both of them are canon. It's the, you both remember it a little differently, but it was basically the same thing.
Well, also timey-wimey.
Timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly and whatnot. But, my other Bridge Command thought I want to share while we're here is, Campaign 1 I did in 2.5 days. I did from Friday night to Sunday night. And this we are doing roughly 1 mission a week-ish.
Over 7 weeks we've got 5 missions.
Yeah. And at this point I don't know if I think one form is better or worse than the other inherently as a way to do a campaign. Doing it all in 1 weekend definitely did have a really interesting, frantic tension to it.
And keeps you, like, focused on it as well, but less time to just go have those little aha moments at 3 a.m.
Yeah, whereas having, and I'll say this, if so far, and I know that I'm judging an incomplete campaign too, Campaign 1 feels more like you can do it in a weekend and that doesn't negatively impact the experience too much. Campaign 2, I think this would be a worse campaign if I tried to wedge it into a weekend. Campaign 2 has really benefited from a lot of space to theorize and discuss and...
Yeah, I genuinely don't know how they would do some of the stuff that they have done for Campaign 2 if you tried to book it that close together, because there has been a lot of like, yes, in the time we've been away, we've had time to do this.
Yeah.
And like, I guess they could probably rejig it as, our tech boffins have managed to, like, you told them about it an hour ago, they got really into it, and here's a thing we've knocked up.
I can see ways to do it, but this has had way more, that's such a big thing I need to sit with and work out, what do I do about this?
Yeah.
And I've really appreciated that space to, like, we'll have a few days where we don't talk, and then there'll be one day where it's just a flurry of chat in the Discord of, what if we ask this? What if we go to this person? What if we bring this person in on this? And
also, like, people who've been doing a lot of bridge commands, that has meant their expertise from the point of view of, so, like, they've done enough missions that they've met certain characters.
Yeah.
So when somebody says, does anyone know anyone in, like, this faction?
Yeah.
Somebody in the crew can go, I did X for them a couple of months ago. I'm sure I can talk to this person.
And that's been a nice thing about it being a whole group of people with a good chunk of experience. Is like, I saw something that might be relevant. Maybe it's like this thing that I saw on a mission. I spoke to that person. I have a history with this. I know a bit about that.
Yeah.
There's like a good wealth of different experiences around the room. Having a great time with Bridge Command.
Yeah.
What about you? What you been playing? You've been playing lots of things.
I'll go back to my list of Next Fest demos.
Yeah.
I played a demo for a game called Dogpile.
Yeah.
Which is basically Suika game with dogs instead of fruit.
Yeah.
But between you basically, it's done as like a card game. So you're dealt out like, is like a hand of 3 cards. They each have dogs on them. Dogs of the same size and like same value will merge together to make the next value up. You know that from Suika game. But like, there's also a shop where you could like add extra cards or add modifiers to cards or add like special things like meta modifiers that just sit to the side. And you can like buy and sell those if you've got, because you can only hold I think 6. It's a fascinating spin on a game that came out, kind of took the internet by storm, and then had like a bajillion different copies made.
Yeah, most of which were just reskins and not trying to do anything new with the formula.
No, it's what if we did this with Pixel Fruit? Yeah. What if we did this with something else? What if we did this with butts?
Whereas this feels more like Suika game with like almost stuff like the Racoin demo from a while ago, where it's like, what if there were modifiers you could apply to these things that would make it easier to pair them together?
Yeah, some interesting stuff. I would prefer it with cats, but I also think Dogpile is a good name. Like, I think it's quite interesting that you can do things like add modifiers to certain dogs, or you can even get a card that adds a modifier so you can drop it on someone within the pile. Like, you can make dogs friendly, so they will try and find another one of the same size as them, and they'll, like, slowly move towards them. If they're barking, they'll knock other dogs away, which can be quite good if you can, like, get that in early, because then it's sort of generally churning the whole pile up, and it makes it easier to get things, like, lower down for longer, which is like a nice little addition. Yeah, there's some really good ideas with this, so I'm glad more has been added to that rather than just going, let's do the thing again. So yeah, that's Dogpile.
Yeah.
What about you? What else have you played?
Do you want to do another one from your pile of demos? Because I've not got that many things this week, so it maybe makes sense for you to do a couple of demos.
I guess, Podquisition, you've already said everything you're going to say about Ghost of Yotai.
I mean, I couldn't remember if we talked about it on last Quoops, because it's a fuzzy time period. I can't remember exactly where things land.
I'm pretty sure you couldn't talk about it back then.
Quite possible.
It's not on the list.
Okay, well, I can quickly do a Ghost of Yotai. It was like 3 weeks ago. Ghost of Yotai, bloody fantastic game. I was never really the biggest person on Ghost of Tsushima, the first game in this series. It's on paper very similar to Ghost of Yotai. Ghost of Tsushima was, You are a samurai man, go on a revenge quest, go do a bunch of stabbies.
You're Samuel Ryman.
This, you
You
are...
gotta do it with honour.
In this one, you are samurai woman, go murder a bunch of people on a revenge quest. But, like, this one's
Honour
good.
less important.
This one's good, though. Ghost of Tsushima was like, it was just a little bland to me. It never really... It was a little too stoic and deadpan to feel engaging to me. But also, it was very focused on, like, stealth takedowns. And if you fucked up the stealth, it felt like, the game's the game's not going to give you a game over screen if you fail at stealth, but it might as well have done.
Yeah.
Was the feel?
Was it, oh, God. Deus Ex could go, in higher difficulties, could go really wrong if you fuck the stealth up.
Yeah. Whereas Ghost of Yotei, it's a lot more... If you get seen, you have tools at your disposal to stand your ground. And if you're seen, it doesn't automatically alert everyone in the whole camp to your presence. It's more
Just people
the
who are
couple
nearby.
of people around where you got spotted might notice you, but not
People
automatically.
within hearing distance of somebody went, "Oi!
Yeah,
There's a person
exactly.
over there."
That sort of thing. But mostly I just really enjoy the narrative. You are this, I'm going to say, like, early to mid-20s samurai woman who's basically like, the whole family got murdered by this group of people called the Yotei Six. I have trained since childhood to be a good murder machine. I'm going to murder those 6 people, and then I don't know what the fuck I'll have left to live for after that. I've spent, like, the last 15 years just training to be a murder machine. I'll worry about having, like, an idea for life afterwards when I'm done. Right now, I'm going to sacrifice everything to kill those 6 people, and hopefully not at some point realize that the sacrifice is too high, or that I have conflicted feelings about this journey.
Or that maybe there's more to the 6 people who came to try and kill my
or
family.
Just, are you willing to make the sacrifices that this kind of revenge quest will take from you? And is it worth doing a quest like this without a life on the other side, you can imagine? Fascinating story, great characters.
Gorgeous art.
Beautiful game. Really interesting loadout system. Like, there's a lot of ability to hot swap between different sets of outfits that will completely change your playstyle. I think it was like 25 hours it took me to sort of mainline through the story, and then like another 10 hours going back in and doing more side quest stuff. I had a bloody great time with it. I have zero in the way of complaints, other than some accessibility quibbles like the poor contrast on the fucking map for being able to see the map icon and shit like that. Some of the text in the menus is a bit low on contrast. I have some accessibility quibbles about it, but...
Grumble.
Grumble, go check out my accessibility review. General game thoughts, fucking fantastic. Probably the most fun I've had with a big AAA game this year. It's a lot of fun. What about you? What you been playing?
I played a demo for a game called Monsters Are Coming, Rock and Road.
Tell me more.
What if you had a city build? And also tower defense, and also the city just sort of walked along. And
this one, yes.
Yeah, you're basically in charge of like leaping off of the city as it walks along and fighting monsters and gathering resources and clearing the way ahead. And periodically, as you gain enough experience, adding extra things to the city, be it like resource generating places or like flame towers or like ice towers or things like that, or lots of different towers. Modifiers, things that will like modify things around it, things that will modify all of a certain type of attack. Like there's periodically you go into these little spaces between gates, and then you can go left or right and get some extra resources, or maybe get like an extra power up for your individual character. There's a whole bunch of meta progress stuff you can do, so you can like level up the amount of like damage and like the speed and like shield of your character or the city itself. And it's a really fascinating little game, and I'm enjoying the combination of city build and tower defense and escort mission, where I don't mind too much how slow a city is moving because it's a city, so I guess that's fine. I had a really good time with it, and it seems like a really interesting demo. I am curious what a full version of that would be like.
Yeah.
What about you?
What else have I been playing? I can talk about this one. I've been playing Pokemon Legends EA most of the last week. I've put nearly 70 hours in a week.
Yeah, you did.
Alongside still somehow getting my work done.
Somehow.
Pokemon Legends EA is a Pokemon game. It's set in Lumiose, which is from X and Y, the Generation 5 games. It's basically Pokemon's Paris. The whole game takes place in this one big circular city, and the big difference is you've got real-time battles. Instead of having a limited number of uses per move that dictate how frequently you can use them, in this you have cooldowns. Stronger moves have a longer cooldown, so you can't spam them as often. There's a bit of running around the 3D environment for things like avoiding poison or spike traps or whatever. There is some timing elements for things like using protect instead of like predictively when you think a move's going to come in, reactively, like, oh, I recognize that attack animation, I'll time protect so I don't take damage. It's more of a real-time game, but it's more active time like ATB system than true real-time.
Yeah, because you've got like bars slowly building back up. And it's like, okay, now I can press the thing again.
Yeah,
you do have the positioning stuff, I suppose.
Yeah, it's the way I keep feeling about it is if you took like Dungeons and Dragons combat, where you spend like 5 minutes having everyone go around in a circle doing their actions for the turn, and then you would have like someone to animate that round of combat in real time,
like fights in tight spaces.
Yeah, like it's like, oh, canonically that entire round of combat took 6 seconds.
Yeah.
I still fundamentally feel like I am making turn-based choices, but I am watching them play out in real time. There are some nuances to it that are really interesting. The more time I've put into this, the more I've realized, like, the amount of time between pressing a button and the attack coming out is a really important factor to attack choices. Like, some attacks will have quite a big wind-up after you've pressed the button before they will slam down.
Yeah.
Like, the move Extreme Speed, I've started to really value just because, like, you press it and it goes. But also, it's an attack that closes the distance really well. You can lock on from a big distance away and, like, zoom in and get the first hit on an enemy. Versus attacks that, like, are much... like, you stop, you plant your feet, you do a wind-up, you hit, and if, like, the other opponent is backing away, you might miss them entirely. A lot of the reason I've been talking about this game in a bunch of places, but I want to talk about it in this way today. A lot of what I've been thinking about in the last couple of days has been the online ranked battle system, because I played through all the way up to A rank on launch day. I never usually play online ranked matchmaking.
Like, there's so few people here, I might be able to get to the top.
Yeah, and I did. And I said at the time, I'm not going to touch it again, I don't want to risk falling down once people know what they're doing. I have dipped my toes back in a couple times, and I'm still in A rank.
Yeah.
Because playing online has really, like, it's made me recognize attributes about moves in the game that I really hadn't been thinking about. Like, I've built a Dragonite that is that is focused on using extreme speed. I've given it a held item that makes normal type moves more powerful, just because I'm like, if I can close in the distance and hit really quickly, that's a really great move for... I can see one of these Pokemon in this Battle Royale free-for-all is nearly dead. I can snipe a kill with that. Extreme Speed boosted with Normal Jam is a really great steal-the-kill move.
Nice.
And I've been trying to use Pokemon I haven't been using during the main playthrough, and trying out moves I hadn't been trying in the main playthrough, just to look for good candidates for, is this a good area of effect attack that maybe hits from a good distance, or... is doing damage while it's doing its forwards approach that would be good online ranked battle moves. And that's been a weirdly fun puzzle I hadn't expected. Other than that, absolutely fucking chock full of side quests. Some of them are a bit nothing, some of them are fucking great.
The scaffolding I thought was interesting, because I edited this week's AA. Surprise, it's about Pokemon ZA, and you'll already know that if you're not already a patron. I thought it was interesting that you sent me one video that was marked Pokemon's EA scaffolding. I was like, okay, I'll add this in. And there's two scaffolding challenges in that video, and the first one I'll come back to in a second. The second one is like, okay, you've gone to this place, and okay, you walked past the whole scaffolding. You kind of had to go up a side road to get onto the start of it, and then you sort of walked around, and there was some climbing up and some ladders to climb and some things to do. A couple of fights along the way. It was quite an interesting thing. That was the second one. The first one was literally, here's two wooden blocks. Climb up them. There's a Pokeball. Good job.
So, to be clear, that first one is the very first area of the game. It's the most basic example. I wanted to show. I didn't show the most complicated ones, but I wanted to give a scale of some of these are just climb up. Some of them are don't fall. You're 3 levels up. Don't fall off the beam, or you don't get that item anymore.
You'll have to start again.
Yeah, look at this second one and imagine if there was a time limit on it. That would kind of suck.
That would kind of suck.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm having a very good time with it. I am currently just finishing off the grind to get the shiny charm so I can shiny hunt in that game. I've found a few accidental shinies while doing the grind for the shiny charm the other day. That was pretty cool. I'm having a great time with it.
Yeah? You don't hate the game. You don't think it's a terrible, terrible game.
I understand the complaints people have about it, and none of them are things that bother me. I've put 70 hours in a week, with plans to put a bunch more time in still, and I really couldn't give a shit that the windows are flat JPEGs on the wall rather than 3D textures. I don't give a shit. It's running at 60 FPS and there's Pokemon in real time. It's cool.
I watched a Dinosaurus video this morning about it.
Yeah.
It's like, people on the internet need to learn that, to stop sharing opinions like they're facts. It's a shit game. It's this, it's that, it's the other. I'm having a good time and I'm really enjoying it. I'm sorry you don't like it, but fuck off and let me enjoy this. Yes, in fact. Let people have fun. The world is terrible enough.
Yeah.
The last, no, actually not the last Next Fest. The next Fest demo I want to talk about is called Slots and Daggers. This is kind of scratching the Clover Pit itch a bit. You start with 3 reels on your slot machine, and you are asked to pick 3 items to start out, and those will be the only things on your reels. There's no bonuses, no extra things, just the 3 things you pick to start with. And at the start of the game, you only have a sword for attack, a coin for to get money to get more thing, and a shield to defend yourself. And you go into like an RPG system, but on your turn, instead of clicking fight and attacking your enemy, you spin the reels, and if it lands on swords, you'll do some damage. And if it lands on coins, you'll get some coins. And if it lands on shield, you'll generate some shield power, and your shield bar will go up.
Yeah.
Then the enemy will attack, and then you will get an opportunity to buy things. Then the enemy will attack. And that's a pretty interesting thing to do. I like the way you sort of progress through this thing. Literally just going, okay, well, I could buy more things to go on here, but the more different options I have on, the less likely I am to get the things I need necessarily.
Yeah.
So do I buy that new type of weapon and have 2 or 3 different types of weapon on here that do different amounts of damage, or different types of damage? There's options for poison and things like that, range damage, magic. There's a whole magic system in there as well. It's a really fascinating idea. And then there's meta progress that you can get by defeating enemies. As you defeat enemies, you get poker chips. Poker chips can be spent on chips that get plugged into your fruit machine and might give you things like extra reels. So instead of having 3, you've got 4 or 5. Reducing the amount of damage you take, increasing the amount of attack power you do, increasing your magic power. It's a really interesting idea, and the difficulty ramps up really fucking quickly. But the sort of meta progress that you're making, I think, adds a lot to it, because you'll go from okay, I've got these shitty swords that only do 15 damage, but now I've unlocked these daggers. Now they only do 5 damage, but they also do 10 poison. and the poison damage is calculated as like whatever the poison number is next to the character after all the other damage has been calculated, it's just going to do that. So even though like your initial stabs with the daggers don't do a lot of damage, by round 4, if you've been rolling like multiple daggers per turn, you're going to absolutely decimate this enemy. The question is, have you rolled enough shields in the meantime to keep yourself alive for that? There's a quite interesting thing where if you buy a copy of something you've already got as your power-up option, you'll basically be just powering up that thing. So you might be going, I'm adding 30% more damage to my daggers, and coins are worth like 20% more coin. Yeah, it's a really good idea, and I feel like it does slightly more with that system than Clover Pit did. Not that I'm slagging off Clover Pit, I had a really good time with it. Until I got to what I'm pretty sure was very near the end, and then I was like, I cannot be asked to do this whole skeleton thing. I am genuinely curious to see what this does for a full game. But already the demo looks pretty good. So that's slots and daggers. It's very good. Had a lot of fun. What about you? What else have you played?
I've got one on here that I played, but I feel you've played a lot more of it than I have. So
Are we talking about Ball Pit?
Yeah, I think you're probably the person to start talking about this. How are you getting on with Ball Pit?
I liked that Ball Pit kept my demo progress.
Yeah, I always appreciate that from a game. Also, for anyone who's about to look this game up, if they like the description,
it's Ball X Pit.
Yeah, Ball X Pit. Ball Pit. There's a Devolver Digital game.
Yeah.
It's the one game they showed off at Summer Games Fest this year.
What if Breakout, but instead of blocks, it's enemies, and instead of a bat, you are like a little adventurer walking around the screen, and you don't have to catch your balls. If they hit the bottom, they will like then fly to wherever you happen to be on the screen.
Yeah.
But if you do catch them, you'll be able to launch them again quicker.
It's Breakout roguelike.
Yeah.
How are you finding it?
I'm having a good time, because there's like lots to it. Basically, between runs, you can go back to your city and do like harvesting and things. Again, using like the bouncing off the walls style thing. The more characters you unlock, the more people you have to do harvesting and things like that, and building buildings and upgrading buildings and things. Obviously, the longer as you play through each level, there's like a number of blueprints to be found. So it's worth replaying again and again. Get levels. People make meta progress. Some buildings will give you like automatic upgrades to certain stats. So you've got individual like character levels, you've got building levels, you've got things that increase stats on individual characters on top of their own personal level ups. You've got the number of levels themselves, the number of characters. I think I've already got like 8 characters open, something like that. I've got an awful lot of buildings. I've already expanded my town. I've now got like a 2x3, 2x3 town, which is pretty big considering it started as a 1x1. I'm really enjoying it. It's very easy to get lost in like one more run, because the runs are only 15 minutes long, assuming you make it all the way to the boss. And yeah, I think it does some really interesting things. Like you've obviously got your knight character, like your pre-basic guy at the beginning, but there's like more interesting things as you go along. Obviously, different people start with different weapons, but like I've just unlocked someone, the Empty Nester, who doesn't fire those little baby balls, but instead they have more of the special balls. So like the ball they start with, they'll fire 3 of them, only 3 of them. They won't fire any the little baby balls, because you usually find your special and some baby balls. And this character just doesn't do that. They only have the really good ones, which makes it more worth trying to catch your balls back again to get the most out of them. And also like makes you think about which things would be devastating if you could do like a lot more of that specific type of damage. There's a whole system where as you get balls, if they have a very specific combo, you can evolve them into a fancy new type of ball that might have like slightly different, like a different damage type. And then you can level up those and again like fuse them with other things. Fusion is the other thing. If an upgrade, if 2 balls don't have fusion, but you've got them both to level 3, you can fuse them together and it will do both types of damage, and it will obviously have cleared you a spot for get more balls and level up more balls. Usually by the time you've got to the end of a level or getting to fight the boss, you'll have had a chance to upgrade, fuse, evolve pretty much everything. Possibly more than once, possibly more than twice. And there are like lots of different things to discover. The more you play, the more balls you unlock, the more different things you want, more like special secondary items you can unlock as well. There's a lot going on in this game, and I'm enjoying the variety of it and the amount of different stuff, which, considering how many games I've just played in this Next Fest, really feels is really giving me value to somebody had an idea and they made it more than what could easily just be the pitch document. Because I feel like I've played a lot of games in this Next Fest was the pitch document was this. Cool. I'm looking at the video for the full game and it looks like it's just literally more of the same, and I'm not sure that's worth paying for, generally. I'm sure you put effort into it. Writing games is fucking hard.
Yeah.
Finishing them and getting them out, good on you. A lot of people don't, but like a lot of these games just feel like there isn't enough in it beyond, I had this idea, I'd made exactly this idea, there's nothing else to it. And it's not going to wow you. You might enjoy it for 10 minutes, you might enjoy it for a bit more. But Bullpit has done a really good job of like taking what could have been a very simple, like, let's put an RPG in Brick Breaker, and they've done a lot with it and shoved a lot in there. And I'm looking forward to my next round of Bullpit.
Yeah.
How are you finding it?
I've not been playing a huge amount of it because it came out the same day as Pokemon, and understandably, Pokemon has kind of monopolized my time. Having played a lot less of it than you, but having played a good chunk of it during the demo period and then continued it now. Number go burr.
Number go
burr. Ball go burr. Boing 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 burr burr. Oh, invisible and on fire, and it went through everyone and everyone on fire. Bounce, 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 bounce. It's right now giving me a lot of good dopamine, and I can't say how, whether it'll feel like enough for me or if it'll feel like, oh, it's very one note. Right now, every time I've jumped into it, I've gone, I wish this hadn't come out exactly the same day as Pokemon, because dopamine going burr, 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 bounce, 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 bounce.
And that's Bullpit.
Yeah. What else have you been playing?
I played another Next Fest demo for a game that I was advertised on TikTok, and that's usually the algorithm knows me to point me at games. This is called The Last Caretaker. This is about a robot who is left on an abandoned, sunken Earth, and the demo takes you through like waking up in a facility and like moving through, collecting scraps and things, turning the lights on, powering yourself up, basically like refueling a ship. There's like this large ocean vessel, and you're like finding different ways around the building to unlock all the doors, making sure to not turn all the lights on because that's probably going to drain quite a lot of energy, and the amount of energy you have is quite restricted. Literally anything you can pick up and throw in a recycler can be recycled, and then you will have resources that you can use for make cabling to connect thing to other thing, or make solar panels or like wind turbines and things. And like the demo is just, you're in this facility, learn how basic mechanics work. There is loads to be discovered if you want to do like a full explore on it, but I speed ran the demo today to see just how quickly I could do it, and in about 15 minutes I'd gone from start game to I've got quite a lot of resources, I've got more power than I could possibly need, and I've charged and prepared the ship and basically completed all of the side quests. If you know what you're doing, you can do it quite quickly. But I think I've got like something like nearly 3 hours in that demo. Just from, it's fun to just explore and find new places, and I've encountered some sort of enemy. There's like a lot of weird biomechanical enemy stuff. Now, you might find growths in places, and then there'll be like an egg bit that will like burst open, and there'll be all of these little robotic mite things that come out. It's like, I'm curious what the biology of this creature is.
Yeah.
Because they do literally look like little tiny robots like scurrying around, but they all just like hatch out of these weird black orbs that you can find around. There's also like a glowing slug thing that you find in like dark service tunnels. And you'll be like going through like an air conditioning or system, and all of a sudden, like they're just like these glowing orbs moving towards you. Yeah, it's fascinating to look around and explore, and the plot is basically Wall-E, but with flooding and rising global tides, and you're not entirely convinced that humanity made it. Like, there's a lot of iconography of like, and then with the children were being evacuated to places. Did the evacuation go well? It seems like there might have at some point been some like rockets used to try and evacuate people off of the Earth. The main game is apparently going to feature like a lot of, can you do all the things to refuel a rocket and send like seeds out into the universe to rebuild humanity in some way? A humanity that will have no memory or no understanding of where it came from, but just, let's create our own creation myths elsewhere with this rocket ships. This is one robot is just sending into space. There's a lot of like children's toys lying around, and maybe even some like slightly sinister things. Sometimes you'll get to like the end of an air vent, and you'll find like a little nook, and it'll be a bit like Newt's little getaway in Aliens. There'll be like crayon drawings on the walls of like little families and stuff, and then just like sleeping bags, and maybe an electric grenade. So I don't know if the bugs did something. Apparently there's like a whole like decision tree to, do you just keep all the like the resources you've got, or do you make defenses for your like mobile platform, which I'm guessing is the boat. Who knows in the full game. So there's like protecting yourself from invading bug forces, seemingly, or electro bug forces, and this trying to protect humanity and exploring different like rigs and ships and things like that. It's I really enjoy this demo so far. It's coming out in early access on the 6th of November.
Ooh.
And I will almost certainly pick that up. Apparently there is quite a lot there to do already, but they want to use the time to expand some things, maybe add some more like combat-y bits, and just sort of generally get vibes on what would people like more of in this game. And yes, I am look forward to do more of this.
I really only played one other video gamey thing worth talking about that I can remember in the last couple of weeks. I played some Yooka-Replay.
Oh!
The remake remastery thing of Yooka-Laylee.
It was about time they made a good version of that game. Is it a good version of that game?
It's a better version of that game. I enjoyed it more than I did the first time around, while still feeling it has pretty fundamental problems.
Ugh. I looked at the trailer for it, and I was like, firstly, there should be a discount for people who've got the original for this, and I'm not seeing that.
I believe there is.
If it was so low, I didn't notice it. And also, one of the quote-unquote selling points on the video was, there's more collectibles. And if there's one thing this fucking game didn't need, it was more collectibles, because it always felt like there was just too much shit going on.
So, things of note, it does look nicer. It plays a little better. Like, the controls are a little more responsive. It's a little like there are tweaks like instead of having a double jump, there is now just a single jump that is higher.
Okay.
And like honestly, that does feel kind of better in this context. Even if I kind of missed the little bit of recorrection that a double jump could maybe give you, but in a lot of contexts, a single jump does just fine with a little extra height on it. There's a new intro section that honestly I wish more of the game was like, that is designed around like fixed camera perspectives and like a sort of closed environment puzzle platforming design that I'm like, that's kind of cool. I wish there was more of this in the game, and from what I've seen, there really isn't.
Ooh.
The fundamental problems with the game are still there, which is right from World 1, the game has some really, really overly precise challenges that do not feel at home as early in the game as they are.
Oh no.
Collectibles where it's like, oh, collect all these collectibles in a figure of 8 before the time runs out, but there is, like, not enough time to make even a single mistake. Like, if you miss a collectible and have to, like, turn around for a second to go back and grab it and then keep going, you've already lost. Doing timed challenges to collect all the collectibles, platforming on, like, a wall with a big drop either side of it, and if you mess up the rolling at speed platforming, you fall off, and, like, you don't die, you've just fallen off and have, like, a really big walk back to try it again.
Ooh.
A lot of stuff like this that feels like late game optional challenges in World 1. And I think fundamentally, the more I play Yooka-Laylee in its replayly form, the more that it's really crystallized. A big part of the problem with that game for me is trying to put too many collectibles in one big world rather than splitting that up, like those challenges up into a few smaller worlds. Because when I think about playing Banjo-Kazooie, for example, which this game desperately wants to be, it was very manageable to go to a particular level and go, I'm going to 100% collecting every collectible in here, which is like 100 musical notes, 5 Jinjos, maybe like 10 puzzle pieces, maybe there's like 1 transformation to find. I do it all, I'm like, I did it. I feel like I completed a thing and I get to move on and see a new place and get my little doses of completionism.
Yeah.
Whereas here, the first world feels like 4 Banjo-Kazooie levels in a level that could be best described as big field. Big field.
Big field with tall jumpy things.
Yeah, and it's like, none of it feels particularly thematic, but it also is like, oh, the list of tasks is never ending. Not in like that open world way where you just like chip away at it bit at a time.
Yeah,
it's like
not like Arkham Asylum, where
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I might collect all the Riddler things because I'm finding them along the way while I play the rest of the game.
Yeah, and like, the game doesn't do enough to signify to you you have collected enough collectibles that if you leave this world, you have enough for the next area. Like, it doesn't do it enough to go, you could leave and see somewhere new now if you wanted to. I just felt obligated to 100% an area that was way too big and with way too many very fiddly challenges to 100%. And like, it's not a satisfying kind of collectathon. I kept thinking about playing Donkey Kong Bonanza earlier this year and being like, yeah, that's a game where like there is enough surface level collectibles to keep me busy for a while. The more hidden collectibles aren't right in my face, so I don't feel pressured to get them all right away. But I can come back later and go, oh, there was more to this level that I didn't see, and I've got the tools to find that. And
Also, if you put the time or money in, you can get maps which will point you to things you might have missed, which I doubt Yooka Laylee is doing.
Yeah, well, Yooka Laylee, the difference is more, oh, everything is in sight, but there's just too much of it and I can't move on. I want to, like, I wouldn't have asked for a review code for this if I didn't want to like this game.
Yeah.
I want to like it.
I kickstarted it. I really wanted to like it.
Yeah. I've given it multiple goes. And you know what it is that made me want to retry this? I really enjoy Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair is a fantastic game. Genuinely fantastic. And enjoying that as much as I did made me go, maybe I was too harsh the first time round. Maybe I need to give it another chance. This is better, it's still not for me. I am glad there are people who are really enjoying it. It is a better version of the game. It's not enough to fix my problems.
Yeah.
What about you? What else you been playing?
On the pile. We're chipping away, we're nearly there. I played Gloomhaven, Buttons and Bugs.
Yeah,
What if you took the biggest board game in board games and made it pretty small?
Yeah, it's a very, very tiny box with a story about characters getting shrunk down very tiny.
Yeah, which is appropriate considering everyone is going to know it as a shrunk down Gloomhaven. And that also covers the concept of the game. It's not Isaac Childress doing the game this time, who did Gloomhaven and a lot of the Frosthaven stuff, but it does take a lot of characters and aspects from Gloomhaven and like Frosthaven, or just the Haven series as a whole, and turn that into a single player arena tactical battle game. So rather than having like a hand of, say, 10 cards, you have 4 cards labelled on either side A and B. You can play your A cards, and then instead of putting them in your discard pile, you flip them straight over to the B side, and you can play them immediately as their B side, or you could play an A and a B, or 2 A's. And you don't do short rests until you've got no cards in your hand. Which means that there are only 9 turns per mission.
Okay.
At most.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like working out how can you do the most damage in as little as 9 turns.
Yeah.
Even less if you try and use any persistent abilities for any serious amount of time. Because they do still exist, those things that you can put out, and they'll last for until you pick them back up again. But if you don't pick them back up again, potentially that is turning your 9 turns into like 6 quite quickly. I think it's got like 8 different characters in there, so they've got like different starting health, different different set of starting cards. As you progress through the game, you'll get to like a different scenario level, and that means that you can take one level 2 card in. And you can pick what level 2 card that is individually for each campaign, for each mission. You don't go, this is the card I've upgraded. And they are all direct upgrades. If you flip your character card over, it will say which are your like base cards and which of the level 2 cards that evolves into. Yeah, and that's quite interesting that you can like just look through that, and because it's quite a serious consideration. It's like, okay, well, this looks like a direct upgrade to exactly that card on both sides, or there's something like very different on the B side, but the A side is basically just an upgrade on the same thing. But the initiative number on it is dramatically different. So there's like lots to consider. There is an awful lot of tactics involved in this. Items, rather than buying them from a shop or like winning them as rewards, when you do a scenario, there are items at the top and bottom of the page. Once you've completed that scenario, you can get those items. And at the start of the scenario, you're picking, am I having the item that's on the top of the card or the bottom of the card?
Interesting.
So there's loads and loads of these little tiny decisions you can make to try and get through. I have just got to mission 5, which a lot of people seem to agree is just this huge tripping point for a lot of people.
Okay.
It's 3 characters, one of whom is flying and has quite a strong ability to heal themselves.
Okay.
You've got this bug thing that has got a huge amount of shield. So it's really, really difficult to like get through that and try and actually do any damage to it. And it's also got quite high health. Then you've got this other one that's like really good at range. And basically, with its mixture of range and movement, it can kind of get you from just about anywhere in the level.
Ouch!
So I have got to this area. A lot of people have said like this is just a huge tripping point. It is a weird like lump, and apparently like the rest bits from much later on in the game do not feel as difficult as Mission 5. But so far I have been enjoying it very much. I'm looking forward to getting back into that now we've got a bit more time and I'm less sick.
Yeah.
Still a bit gravelly, but apart from that I'm doing okay. Gloomhaven Buttons and Bugs. I'm about a quarter of the way through it. Obviously, there are some missions that you won't do, given what character choices you made. So you might have one character who's just been like, okay, if you've got this specific character, you're just going to kick the door down and walk into this place. And if you're any other character, you're not quite so into that, and you're just going to try and like sneak your way in. So you'll get like kind of a more stealthy mission for that one, for that particular thing. But regards to the items, you still get the items even from the ones you skipped. which is interesting. And it's interesting how you can compress Gloomhaven down to read the scenario, and then on the other side of that scenario is the map that you're going to play on a single standard-sized playing card. But you're using like cubes and the tiniest fucking minis.
They're very tiny minis.
They're so tiny minis.
They're very mini.
Yeah, for 20 quid, I think it's a very good little box.
Yeah.
And I really like the way it does the modifier deck.
Yeah.
You roll a little fate dice, and depending on what thing you get, you'll have like a sheet, and you'll slowly like cycle through all the options on this sheet. And if you get a plus, it'll usually be something extra, including your 2 times at some point. If it's a minus, you might get your miss, or you might get -1 or -2. And then as you when you've got the circle, it could be a 0, it could be something else. It could be like a modifier in some other way. And as your character levels up as the game progresses, that whole modifier deck changes, so it upgrades with you. And all of those modifier stats are specific to your character. So it's interesting. There's also like a whole difficulty thing. You can change the like general difficulty of enemies. And yeah, I think it's really neat.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you played anything else?
That's the bulk of stuff for me. What about you?
One more thing. We played Tiny Epic Galaxies.
We did, yeah. This we wanted a small box board game
that we could take to Bridge Command.
Yeah, something space themed that would fit in a bum bag.
Yeah.
That could be brought to play if we decide to do like a couple of missions with a couple of hours gap in the middle or something. So yeah, tell us about Tiny Epic Galaxies.
It's one of the earlier Tiny Epic games from Gaming Games. We've talked about Tiny Epic Zombies, Epic Dinosaurs, Epic Mechs on here before. Tiny Epic Galaxies. You are a galaxy, and you want more space in your space. So there are there's a tableau of planets, and you can either land on a planet, or you can go into orbit around a planet. And then once you're in orbit around the planet, you're trying to race around this orbit to get to the end before anyone else can do it before you. Because once you've got to the end of that track, you claim that planet as part of your empire.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really simple, really easy to explain, very portable. It plays in about 20-30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like there is enough strategy and decision making in there. You're slowly rolling dice, doing things based on what the actions are on those dice. You've got 1 free reroll. If none of the sides is quite working for you, there's ways of converting dice into other symbols. There's obviously things to get resources, ways to spend resources, including upgrading your empire as a whole, so you get more dice to roll, you get more ships to go out and colonize with. It's a really neat little small box game that it teaches really quickly. It's very self-explanatory, and it's got 5 or 6 different levels of AI if you want to play a solo game. Gaming games usually do a very good solo game. I really enjoyed this. I played through this a couple of times on the easier difficulty levels as I was working my way up, and there's some really interesting ideas of how that automa kind of levels up and gets more difficult. And so yes, it is a dice roller, and generally I'm a little bit wary of them, but I think this plays so quickly that even if you're having a really bad time, you can just kind of laugh it off and play another round.
And it helps that it's a dice roller where you have access to increasing numbers of dice as you go, with mechanics to alter the dice results or to re-roll. There's plenty of mechanics, and you might just have a game like that one I did, where every time I re-rolled, I got the exact same dice that I had rolled a second time. 4 times in a row, I would re-roll and go, that's exactly what I got before I re-rolled, fuck. But even in a situation like that, the game was short enough, I didn't mind, and I had so many opportunities to tweak my results that I could still fumble and make it work.
Yeah. And it was that was a game where you and I had both played it before, and we were teaching someone else who had never played it before and maybe isn't as super into board games as we are. And they won.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying that. That's Tiny Epic Galaxies.
Yeah.
Have you got anything else?
I think that's everything.
Well then, after 300 years...
Time for this!
Coming this fall to Shudder, a season of horror movies aimed specifically at the autistic audience. Join us on the 25th of October for the premiere of The Spoon That Wasn't Right. The handle somehow looks sharp, and the bowl is also quite jaggedy. It's like it was carved out of a different spoon.
Ooh.
And this spoon is so rough. The handle is rough. Have you touched the spoon?
Oh, that... Oh,
the spoon is wrong. Nope, do not like. And then on the 28th, we have new recipe nuggets, extra textures.
Oh.
My safe food.
Oh.
Why did they make it more authentically chickeny?
Who wants
Jamie Oliver?
Who wants more textures in a thing?
They added more textures and a new flavour and whey powder for some reason.
Oh.
Now it will make my tummy hurt and it isn't what I want to eat. And then on Halloween night itself, we have the world premiere of The Day the Labels Grew Back. I swear I cut the label out of this one and they just keep coming back. The labels, they're everywhere and they're all scratchy. That's Autism Week on Shudder for some reason. We have the scares for you, some percentage of the population. Hey, Lore.
Yes?
We've got a new sponsor.
Who's our new sponsor?
Well, do you sometimes have secrets?
Occasionally.
Things you can't talk about, but you gotta talk about it.
Oh, like how in Bridge Command Season 2.
We're not allowed to say that in front of a microphone.
Yeah, that's very much the point,
No,
isn't
that's
it? Yeah.
why we signed NDAs.
Oh, well then, I just need an outlet for the thing that we know about.
Yeah, and talking to each other just isn't really doing it.
No, because we were both there. I need to, wow someone who wasn't there with it.
What if there was another way? There's got to be one, right?
Tell me more.
This week's sponsor is thesecretsvoid.lol.net.
Oh, what is this?
Because secret stuff you can't tell anyone about.
Yeah, like the thing that we know about.
You got loads of thoughts and excitement about it.
Oh my god, I want to be so excited about the thing.
Type it into our offline-only app and receive automated, excited responses to get the dopamine of sharing your big news.
Oh wow, that's so cool. Tell me more. Oh, so interesting.
Thanks, The Secret's Void. You're really validating me and helping with the thing I can't talk about.
Yeah, is that so? Wow.
So that's thesecretsvoid.lol.net. Enter the code Q&PS into the void, and you could get 15% off your first month of voided-based secrets.
Ooh.
So, what have you put in your other holes that aren't games?
Yeah, I'm guessing we're doing the eyes.
Eyes and or ears?
Yeah.
Do you remember years ago we blended the two together?
I suppose so. It was an age ago at this point.
It has been so long since I've done this podcast.
I watched a film that was called Him, that was a sort of horror thriller kind of film.
About Billy Vallow?
Oh no, that would be truly horror. This was about a young, promising American football athlete who he's in a car crash that almost ruins his career, and then the best player of all time kind of takes him under his wing and is like, come
under
train,
my wing.
Come train with me at my compound for a week.
Compound. That's always a good start.
Yeah, that's a great first word to hear, compound. Come train with me and my buddies and do our training routine for a week, and I'll try and get you up to the point you'd need to play in the big leagues.
Is it blood and cocaine?
Those might feel like they might be some components going on. It is one of these films of the slow creep of, oh, that's a bit weird, but I'll ignore the red flags because of the... You know what it reminded me of? What was that film we watched where the women could see the danger coming a fucking mile away with, oh, I forget the fucking actor's name. They met the couple, went abroad, and went and stayed with them.
You saw this film, I didn't see
Did
this
you
film.
not see this film?
No, I think you went to the cinema. And
Apologies.
This vaguely rings a bell of something you've explained to me, but I do not remember
Let
seeing
me
this.
rewind slightly. There's a film, and I'm blanking of the name on it, but the whole conceit of it was mother and daughter could totally see the horror coming a million miles away. Husband can't see the horror coming because he's a man who's completely oblivious to, like...
Why would it be dangerous?
Yeah, these clearly red flags. Well, it's my mate doing them. How's that a red flag?
Men are very used to ignoring red flags from their mates.
Yeah, whereas here it's a very similar structure of like, well, yeah, that's a bit odd, but like I guess that's how they do it. Like, well, he's famous and good at the sport. I guess he knows what he's doing, and like ignoring the slowly creeping red flags or willingly looking away from them because the thing you are chasing is so tantalizing. Like, there is a scene that is shown in the trailer that I think is maybe reasonable to talk about, which is I'm gonna throw you the ball and you gotta like throw it across the field to like one of these people, and you gotta do it fast enough. You gotta get it like past to the other guy fast enough. If you don't do it fast enough, this automatic ball firing machine that's meant to be used at very huge ranges will be used at incredibly short range at a man's face and just fire a American football straight into a man's face, like break his nose. You better be doing that drill faster. That man's face is on the line. And yeah, that's clearly horrifying, but if I don't, my options are do the drill faster or don't. I guess I do it faster. Well, I am doing the drill way better. I guess this all works. I guess this all works. While the man who's having his face caved in comes over at the end to be like, thank you for involving me in training, because like he's just enamored to be in the room with a famous person. It's the slow creep of the things that shouldn't be happening that are allowed to happen when people with fame and power, who are men, are in the room.
I can't think of other things that might parallel.
But also, it touches on themes like the risks, the physical risks to one's own health that people will put themselves through in the pursuit of sport. Definitely, what's it, CET? The intracranial condition that American football players get, where the brain hits the inside of the skull too often.
Yeah.
CTE, it might be.
Could be.
I appreciate how long this film held off on its more supernatural elements. It sure was a critique of the state of American sports that then became... It is a very interesting film, even if it goes a bit off the rails, and it's a little messy in its metaphor. I enjoyed the tense build of it. What about you? What have you put in your eyes or ears?
We watched the Volley Boys.
Yeah, we've finished season 1 of Haikyuu.
Volley Boys.
English dub, which... hey, fun fact, if you're interested in the English dub of Haikyuu, there is no legal place you can get the English dub of Haikyuu. It exists in a legal limbo.
So Laura had to read it all out to me.
Yep, I definitely acquired it legally before it became impossible to acquire legally. That's probably what I did.
Probably.
Internet Archive's great.
Volley Boys!
Yeah, this is your first time watching through Haikyuu, other than...
Yeah, we watched the film.
Yeah, you watched an out-of-context film.
Well, I knew about the cats.
Yeah,
Cats and birds and cats.
I gave you a brief introduction of the cats versus the crows as a concept. How are you finding Haikyuu so far?
It's it's really interesting, and obviously we start off and we've got brash and aloof, and it's like, these two are going to end up so close together, despite being brash and aloof.
I mean, even one season in, you can already see the enemies to friends pipeline has made a lot of progress.
Yeah, like they've definitely made a lot of progress, and in themselves as people, and realizing that they are a team as opposed to forces to fight against and push away.
Because this is your first time watching a lengthy sports anime. Because we watched Yuri on Ice, which is like 12 episodes and it's done.
Yeah.
And it's like alternating one episode of Slice of Life, one of Here's a Figure Skate. Whereas this is a lot more like we might spend 4 episodes on one practice match.
Yeah.
Did you successfully learn to do that move with your eyes open? Ooh.
Yeah, that's another thing. We've gone from the raw talents of these characters to it's lovely that you can do this incredible thing, but also we need to like polish you a bit. Like you jumped up in the air with your eyes closed because you believed that he could spike the ball to you to push the ball to you exactly where you were going to be, because we know he can do that.
Yeah.
But, like, you need to be able to, like, open your eyes and be prepared for things that might change.
It would be great if at the apex you could look and not overthink things and maybe, like, hit the ball a little more to one side to get around the block or something. Equally, the fact that, like, as amazing as that super fast minus tempo quick attack is, its shock value is a lot of what is getting you around other players. If you start going against, like, good experienced teams, maybe you'll score 3, 4, 5 early points. They're gonna adapt. They're gonna, like, put a blocker on you constantly. They're gonna, like, I guess we gotta read block rather than predict. You're gonna need other tools in your arsenal when the shock of what you're doing wears off, and they start going, okay, let's counter that. And part of that is building up the other team members so that, like, Hinata can be a good decoy, and, like, you've committed resources to trying to block his super fast quick. That's slightly less things that would be blocking other person we can now be throwing to.
Yeah.
But you got to build the whole team up to get there.
Well, yeah, we've also had, like, the whole interaction of, like, the groups of them, or even, like, pairs. Lots of them seem to come in pairs.
Yeah.
Like, there's this one that's very, like, I'm here because of that person. I do it in this way, and for that reason, I am here with that person. Like, we went from, like, obviously, like, our starting kid who just wanted to really badly play volleyball.
I'm
and
small.
Sure did really play volleyball badly.
I'm small, but I just want to jump really high, like the other short player who jumped real high.
Yeah, and going from that, look, I didn't really have a chance to play proper games before, and then I got a chance, I got a taste for it, and I just want to keep doing it.
You got Kageyama, the setter, who's like, I can very precisely put the ball exactly where it needs to be, but I am a little too, I am the best, everyone needs to rise to my level, and he's
also had to get over all the drama of how he left his previous school.
He very much isolated the players on his previous team, and now he's trying to, like, unlearn the trauma of, I'm gonna throw it and you're not gonna be there because I was too much of an asshole to you. But, like, maybe you do need to push your team a little bit sometimes. Like, don't learn too many bad lessons from, I pushed my teammates and they abandoned me. But learn a bit of lesson from it.
Yeah.
You've got very tall guy with glasses, who we've not gone into a lot yet, but he's not the most, he's not putting in the most effort. He's very tall, and that is helpful. It feels like he could probably do more, but he's there, he does his stuff.
We've had the coach who came out of convenience store running.
Took absolute convincing to be there and was like, fine, I'll come for one match. And then after that one match was, you don't think I'm fucking leaving now, do you?
I can never leave. We've got the Libre?
Yeah, the Libra?
Libero. I kept wanting to call him something else, but
the goalie,
the keep it off the floor guy, and his passion for keeping it off the floor, and his constant little speeches of no, don't worry about them doing anything. That's my problem. You just do whatever you need to do with pure confidence.
If you play your aggressive little hearts out, I will always be back here being like, as long as I don't let it touch the floor, you can keep having your go doing all your stuff.
Yeah.
I'll stop it with, like, a single hand. I'll, like, get my foot under it. I'll keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been interesting watching that. And then obviously we've got as the series has gone on, you've got the older, more senior kids going, well, we're leaving school soon, so we've got to make sure all these kids are trained.
Yeah. One of my favorite ones from the older kids that kind of came up in season 1 is Sugawara, the grey-haired, the other setter. Because, like, it's kind of talked a bit in season 1 about the fact that, like, usually seniority means that, like, the third years, that's their chance to be like, oh, you'll be on the starting lineup basically every match, because, like, you'll be better than the lower year kids. And Sugawara's very much had to deal with, like, oh, it's finally my time to be on the starting lineup.
Uh-oh, he's so good.
Oh, shit, this superstar has come in, and I'm probably not going to get to play very much. And seeing the opportunities that he is brought in the tournament in season 1 have been quite nice, of, like, there are benefits to his style of play. It's like, he might not be able to do the precision stuff that Kageyama can do, but he understands the team way better and knows how to, like, I can read the emotional states, I know what they need, I know, like, the kind of tosses that player likes. He can get the morale up in a way that's, like, super interesting. But yeah, we're a season in. They went to a tournament, and they beat a couple of big teams, and then the tournament run ended. And now they gotta climb that hill again.
I mean, considering, like, at the beginning of this, they barely had a team.
Yeah.
They were all kind of falling apart, and the talent from all sides really was quite raw.
Yeah. They were so close to winning that last match in the tournament. It was like, they came down to a juice in the third set, like...
but it's like pandemic.
Yeah.
You have to let them lose one, so they've got way more passion to come back next year.
You've got to have that loss by, like, you lost by the skin of your teeth, and you're like, oh, one more game, I'm gonna fucking... Right, because you start seeing these rivalries build, and it's like, oh, the next time they go up against that school with that smug little setter that does his, like, super fast jump sets, they're gonna be ready to take him on.
Ooh.
You can see how, despite being a person that doesn't give a shit about sports anime is its own, it's its own thing.
And also, the person on the other team, who's always just like, I want you to do the best, I want you to be really, really good, so that I can destroy you when I'm playing at my best. And, like, giving them tips and things, and they're all like, but nah, you can't deny, he has got your fucking number on all of these things.
Oh, yeah. My favourite of the enemy team ones is from Date Tech, the Iron Wall team. It's the big, tall guy with the grey hair who will often just, like, stare stone-faced and point at people. No words, just like... Because when Karasuno beat Date Tech, and he's just staring at little Hinata being like, but you're small. I mean, I'm tall, you're small, how'd you win? So yeah.
How many more Buddy Boys have we got?
So we got 3 more seasons. This is the longest of the seasons, I think.
Okay.
So we got 3 more seasons, 2 movies, and there is more to come after that. It is still ongoing because they have not finished, as of the more recent movie, they haven't finished the nationals, they haven't finished the big tournament.
Well, while we're on animes, did you want to talk about the return of your favourite anime?
I don't know if I'd say my favourite anime, but
one that you're is new.
I mean, the
new content.
It's the first time in a while that I've been watching an anime week to week as it's been releasing, and as such, you know, I've been glued watching for episodes. Usually I wait until they're finished and watch them when done.
Yeah.
Season 8 of My Hero Academia has begun. I am watching the dub, so I am 1 episode in. I know that there are 2 more in sub. I will note the first episode of season 8, a good 10 minutes of it is dedicated to being a slightly faster paced, less expedition-y recap of the last half of the season 7 finale. And honestly, I don't mind that because it's a really fucking cool fight, and I will happily take a slightly paced up revisit of that. The stuff that is new, I'm very into the fact that it seems like this final season is basically going to be 2 fights. There's just going to be 2 fights that happen over a whole season. Yeah. And it's been a while since I've watched an anime that has really lent that deep into these 2 people and these 2 people are gonna fight for multiple episodes each. And I'm like, yeah, I'm into it. The animation's been gorgeous. To my understanding, I think the deal is that they've taken the animation studio that does the work on the movies and have brought them in to do the final season. and it shows in a lot of the fight scene animation. It's like, oh, you're giving this like the big budget for final season. Hell yeah, glad to see it. It's a lot of fun. It's doing a lot of cool. The least spoilery way I can talk about this, because I can kind of talk about this in terms of like season 7 finale, so like nothing too spoilery. One of the big fights that's happening at the finale is they took previously the biggest, greatest hero of the world who's not been able to fight for a while and found an excuse to bring him back into the fight in a way that feels like a real love letter to all of the superhero students that they taught over the years. And it's it feels a little fan servicey in some ways. It's like, that's the thing I know. But in a way that's like, I think the sweetness of it really takes away from any way that would feel too tacky. It's largely like, oh, you did so much training all these kids, and now you've learnt from all the things they did, and you're bringing all of their, like, versions of all of their skills to this final fight in a way that's a really nice revisit of how far all these characters have come. And that's very sweet. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you put in your eyes and or ears?
I listened to a podcast called The Homeward Foundation.
Tell me about it.
This is pitched as a sequel to Dracula.
Okay.
This is so you've got like an SCP foundation that is specifically about containing and stopping vampires. And it is run by like people descended from the Harkers.
Okay.
And connected to people descended to the Van Helsings. And you've got these two characters who are basically working in this kind of out of the way, not far from York, kind of out on the moors, kind of research team where nothing really ever happens. But recently, the head of Dracula has been recovered from the Carpathian Mountains, and it's recently been returned to the UK. And now, all of a sudden, the building they were working in has blown up. They blacked out and woke up in, like, on the moors, with Dracula's head in a bag, in a carrier bag. No phones, no money, no nothing. They're just somehow out here on the moors. There's been an explosion. All of the thralls, not full vampires, that had been kept on that site have escaped and are seemingly now out trying to recompose their master out of bits. The Homeward Foundation is... maybe there's some fuckery going on there, but they've got like their own security force, and like they build themselves as being like a medical tech company, but really all they're doing is protecting the world from vampires, kind of, which are definitely real. The main two characters, it turns out, are possessed by Jonathan and Mia Harker. And so they're occasionally like falling asleep as themselves, and then the other is the ghost that they are currently piloting, being piloted by, is taken over. And like running them for a bit. And they've the sort of the concept is that there's a dictaphone, and they're leaving messages for each other, and we're hearing everything on the dictaphone. So yeah, it's a really interesting narrative. Season 1 ends up on a really fascinating cliffhanger, almost literally. It's great. It's a fascinating story. It's really like a really gripping ride. I listened to all 7 episodes from the first season today. Just like all in one, just like, I really like this. There is currently a Kickstarter going on for season 2. They ran a Kickstarter for season 1 because they wanted to pay people for making good podcasts. You might recognise some of the voices. There's a whole bunch of voices from the Magnus Archives in there. You'll hear Kareem Cropley, who seems to be in just about every fucking podcast I listen to at the moment. And several other names I recognised from Magnus Archives. They've got Jonathan Sims for season 2, assuming they make their Kickstarter thing, which could be interesting. it's really interesting. It's nice to have like 2 canon trans characters, and that isn't literally their whole thing. It mainly comes up as character who is also hosting Mina Harker to be like, look, we're both girls, right? And maybe in your time you knew about like women who loved women and men who loved men and people who weren't necessarily the way they had been born.
Yeah.
So just a heads up, I'm a trans woman. I'm wearing estrogen patches, so watch them. I hope that's cool with you. That's obviously cool. It's done really nicely. I believe one of the writers is trans. It's another thing that TikTok pointed me at, just going, you're following a lot of Magnus talk, why don't you listen to this? It's like, okay, I'll listen to it. Am I just getting a lot of this because there's a Kickstarter on right now? Oh no, it is really good. Yeah, cool. So a sequel to Dracula set in the current day with some Magnus Archives SCP fuckery going on in the background, and the possibly occasionally talking head of Dracula in a bag.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll chew his way out of the bag and eat a rat. Think about that, I guess. I had a really good time listening to that. Do thoroughly recommend. And there's like 28 days, I think, left on their Kickstarter. If you like it enough to keep going on it. What about you?
We went to a concert.
We did. We went to a gig.
We did. We went and saw a couple of bands.
We did.
Most notably, we saw the Daffodildos.
I was going to say, most notably, we saw Strange New Places.
Well,
who were the headliners who we got to see?
I was going to say the 2 that were named on the poster, because I can't remember the name of the opening act who weren't named on the poster.
They weren't named on the poster,
unhelpfully, or on the website, and I've tried to look it up. The website does not acknowledge there was a third act.
I intended to take a picture of their name because it was written on one of the walls, and then I completely forgot before we left.
Yeah, so we saw the Daffodildos supporting Strange New Places. Let's start with the Daffodildos.
Let's.
Oh, they're a lot of fun.
They are a lot of fun.
Very bouncy, knees up, have a dance to it. Punk with, like, the energy of ska. And they've got a side project we'll talk about in a minute that is more ska forward. But even in their punk stuff they do as the Daffodildos, you can hear the punk the ska underpinnings to it.
Mirror on the wall, who's the queerest of them all?
Yeah. Very politically aware, fun basement punk. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They've got like 6 songs online.
Yeah, they've got a single called Not My Cup of Tea available on Bandcamp.
Yeah, they've got a 6-track EP. They played, I think, like a good 15 plus songs.
I think something like that.
They got a bunch more tracks that aren't online that I hope they put online, because like
we were sort of encouraging one of them, like towards the end of the night, just being like, well, you know, if you got more content, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
you know, for an hour.
They're a small enough band that we mentioned having picked up their album the night.
And they were like, oh, it was
before.
you.
Recognizable in that regard. Yeah, we listened to their 6 tracks the night before, and we're like, I can go for those.
Yeah, because it was like, you mentioned like, I should probably have a look at who the opening acts are, because you like to do a little bit of research before you go to
I like
gig.
to have a listen to be like, just so I know what vibe I'm going for.
And we both were just like, that's really good. Bought the album.
One thing I really like about them, and I think makes them like very well suited to being a support act, is they've got a lot of choruses that are lyrically simple and repeated enough times that even if you don't know them going in, by the the second time that chorus comes around, you're gonna know the bit to sing along with. It's very easy to jump in and sing along on their choruses, which I think is always great for a live act.
I love that they've got a track called Not a Girl, and it used to be called Not a Girl, and now it's called Not a Girl / Boy.
Yes.
Because one of them came out as trans and then went, no non-binary suits me better, so now it's neither.
Yeah.
Stop misgendering both ways.
I did enjoy the track Transphobic Trevor.
Transphobic Treasure. Oh, yes.
Yep. He's not very clever.
He's not very clever.
Transphobic Trevor, he's not very clever.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a cunt.
Just a bit, yeah. They've got they've got a vegan track.
Yeah.
If you want to be angry about being vegan.
And then at least one of their members is in another band.
Two of their members, because their drummer is borrowed. They were like, we borrowed the drummer from my other band.
You're right, yes.
At which point I was like, I really enjoyed you. I would maybe listen to two out of the three of you in some other thing.
Yeah, so they've got a band called the Glitter Bombs.
Yes.
Why don't you lead us in on the Glitter Bombs?
I was sold on the Glitter Bombs when I heard their track. The landlord raised landlord's raising the rent again.
Yeah, it's a good track.
It is 5 seconds long. Make of that what you will. It's definitely worth listening to. And I will probably play it to Laura as like a little sting the next time the landlord raises our rent.
Oh, yeah. It's like, don't even tell me the landlord's raising the rent. Just play that 5 seconds and I'll go, the landlord's raising the rent again.
I can't. They're
much more ska forward.
Yes. And like ska punk as well. It sounds like there's at least a couple of tracks in this that we both sort of sat there and going, yeah, I could hear this played in like an early Tony Hawk's game. It's very much like that vibe of ska punk. There's one of my favorite tracks is LGB with the T, but also with the NB.
Yeah.
So it's just alternating. The chorus alternates between LGB with the T, LGB with the NB.
Yeah.
Big fan. They're currently advertising that they've got like 3 new gigs coming up. So if you want to go and see them around Brighton at some point soon. It seems like their TikTok is probably the easiest place to follow to get more information about that.
You too could be notable gays.
Notable gays, yes. we got notable. We two queers from out of town got spoken to after the gig by someone who was just like, "Oh, you two, you're filling my heart."
In Brighton, getting told that your gayness was notably cute is like, badge of honor.
Wow.
Notable cute gays of Brighton.
Damn. Yeah.
But yes, we also...
And of course we went to see Strange New Places.
Yeah, we've talked about their album, Second Puberty,
They
before.
did a great job fitting 5 people on that stage most of the time.
An admirable one indeed. Yeah, absolutely... You can tell sometimes when a band is destined for growth. Like, a big part of it is being able to play, like, a studio quality performance in a live setting. And Strange New Places really have that. You could put them on a stadium stage, and they would fill that soundscape well. Damn impressive performance. Yeah. Very, very precisely performed.
Yep. And they've got great stage presence.
Yeah.
They've got good banter.
Yeah. They really are a band that is ready to be playing headline shows, it's really nice seeing a band you've seen on somewhere like TikTok and going like, oh yeah, no, you do have the live energy you need to like, you could go far. Absolutely.
But nice that they're willing to come all the way from Ireland and play a tiny little venue like the one we saw.
Play a little basement to, like, at most 60 people could fit in that basement, and I don't think the full 60 were in that basement.
Oh, but boy, we were sweating it out that night.
Oh, yeah. It's really nice to go to that kind of show where it's the basement or back room of a pub and just be like, a very small handful of people got to experience this. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That coming off of like the last punk gig that I went to, which was Problem Patterns.
Yeah.
Going to see the basically Blowers Club album played start to finish. They just won like BBC Music's Best Newcomer Awards.
Yeah.
So they'd just been on a huge fucking stage and they were, coming down and playing this tiny little basement.
But that's what you want to be seeing, is you want to see acts while they're still small enough to be like, I'll play these. I'm sat 2 people down from the band I came to see, who are currently trading Pokemon cards between each other in the corner.
Yes, they were cracking packs.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is... As much as I love a good stadium show sometimes, I like getting to see a band in that smaller room.
Yeah. It was a lovely experience, a lovely time. Lovely gig. It was nice. I'm sad I missed the long spoon.
Yes, the weirdly extruded spoon on the ceiling.
Extruded.
What about you? You put anything else in your eyes or ears?
That's it for me.
Well then, time for this.
Inside the boardroom of Supremacy Software.
Hi. So, you know what's better than money we have to work for?
Money that somebody else had to work for and we just stole?
Yeah, there's that. There's also money that just people give us in the hopes that we make more money, which is the thing we're trying to do anyway.
Like with shareholders.
Yeah. People give us money, and then
Yeah.
we get more profitable, and then they ask us to make even more money, and we're like, yeah, that's
I love
okay.
making money.
Yeah,
One of my
that's-
favorite things.
So we got some pretty big potential investors.
I love an investor.
We got a couple of very big potential
we're
investors.
talking retirement level investors?
We're talking
another golden yacht investor?
if I wanted to have a golden parachute for my golden parachute, I could get a golden parachute for that golden
nice.
parachute.
And you don't mean one of those little tiny extra parachutes you see with the parachute
three
goes out.
full-size golden parachutes.
3 full. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's the two investors that have reached out to us, sort of as a package deal. We got how do we pronounce this? Evil Corp.
Oh, Avil Corp. Yeah. They had a huge investment. Didn't they just get out of the oil business and they're trying to do a whole thing?
They got out of the oil business because of the bad PR they were getting.
I mean, it is kind of evil, extracting.
No, sorry,
hydrocarbons.
Evil. It's pronounced Evil.
Well, but I'm saying no. It is kind of it is kind of evil to be burning the planet that we all live on.
They got out of the oil business to get into the coal mining business.
Oh,
so,
wow!
Lateral
stroke
move.
of genius,
right? Exactly.
And I hear the president loves coal, so they're really playing to the market.
Right. I hear they're also a little in the fracking business and the child labor business.
I mean, who could say no to that?
Exactly.
I mean, if we could get kids working here, I would love that.
Exactly. And the other half of this investment duo is HM Inc. We probably don't need to look up what that those letters stand for.
Yeah. Humanity.
Humanity matters.
Huge manity.
Oh! They sent some merch over. Let me. I want to try this on.
Hungry for manatees.
Okay. I am seeing the full logo now. It is Hates Minorities Incorporated.
Hates Minorities.
Hates Minorities.
Is that like the Vocaloid?
Yeah, that's probably the one. I could be invested in by the Vocaloid.
Yeah, I could.
Tease minorities. Yeah, that's the one.
Nothing could go wrong, I think, with Hate's minorities.
Yeah. They both want to give us a lot of money.
I love money, and if they want to give me some money, I'm willing to look the other way at all their terrible business practices.
I'm very excited for my shares to be worth more tomorrow than they are today.
Yeah. And, none of this is going to come back on us, right?
Not a one.
You are a fucking genius.
I know.
A fracking genius. Well, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at our latest advert for our latest soup product, as we do go into the soup season.
Sure, go ahead.
Are you riddled with disease? Filled with colds? All snotty and glum? Soup will make you feel better! Soup! This is a message brought to you on behalf of the Soup Marketing Board. So what do you think there?
It feels a bit aggressive the way you're asking me if I'm ill.
Well, we do have another one.
Okay.
Are you feeling poorly?
Okay.
Are you all gummed up? Is your face a big sloshy mess that won't stop dripping? Soup. It's been there forever, and it's here to comfort you. This is a message brought to you on behalf of the Soup Marketing Board.
I
Is
don't...
that one better?
I don't know if I want to think about fluids dripping while thinking about soup. I'm gonna be thinking about it dripping in the soup.
That's okay. We do have one more, in fact.
Okay.
Raspy, horrible cough. Nasty hacking cough. Are you hacking lumps up right now? Because it's the time of cold and badness. Oh, I bet you've got a real grim cough on you right now, haven't you? You know what would make you feel better? Soup. Soup's always there for you to comfort you and make you feel better and just really perk you right back up again after you've had a nasty cold. Soup. Message brought to you on behalf of the Soup Marketing Board.
I really don't want to be thinking about coughing up chunks while I'm looking at my chunky vegetable soup.
You think a drier cough would probably work better?
I don't know how much I want to be thinking about coughing in proximity to my soup.
Well, I don't know what to tell you then. We've always been associated with, when you've got a cold, have some soup.
Well, yes, but you don't usually lean so hard into visceral descriptions of my illness.
Right. So you think we need, like, more flowery language? The equivalent of the blue liquid on a sanitary towel.
I think you could just go...
Could we introduce blue liquid to the soup somehow?
No, please.
Do you know what I want to see more of?
What do you want to see more of?
Social Justice Warriors.
Social Justice Warriors?
Yeah.
All right, Larry. All right, Barry. How you doing? Oh, mate. It's yeah. I've got over a cold, and I feel like I might be coming down with a slightly different cold.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you get home to bed nice and early tonight.
Yeah. Well, I've got my mask on, so I think we're okay for now.
Yeah.
You been up to much, mate?
I've been seeing some stuff going down that I want to be optimistic about, but also I'm cautious. I'm wishing more people would be a little more cautious about.
Yeah, people, being sort of unreservedly excited about a headline.
Let's just say I'm aware of the news that there has been a ceasefire between Israel and Palestine.
Wasn't there a bombing like less than a couple of days later?
Oh yeah, there was, and we'll get there in a second. But on paper, it is good that we have had an exchange of the I believe it was 12 hostages.
We had the last 12 hostages from the Palestinian side for 2,000 Palestinians, and that still leaves 80% of the Palestinian hostages in Israeli custody.
Yeah, that is, we can start with really take on board the scale of who was holding how many people,
Yeah.
But in theory, that exchange and a move towards a ceasefire toward a plan to rebuild is a good thing.
It is much harder to, I would imagine at this point, for people to justify, well, you haven't returned the hostages.
No. They're still trying to justify it. The new justification is not all of the bodies have been of hostages who died in Gaza have been returned to Israel. Because Gaza got fucking flattened to rubble, and it's quite hard to find some of the fucking bodies at that point.
Oh, I would imagine
because they're buried under buildings.
Maybe if you hadn't bombed them so much.
Exactly. But that's the new justification because they have not returned every single body because they got fucking razed to the ground.
Yeah.
That's now the justification for bombing. Continue to bomb is still okay.
Well, they had to be. They're very excited by blowing up people who can't defend themselves.
Indeed. And there have been continued things that have been like, there was a line that was like, people of Palestine, if you cross this line, you're allowed to be shot still, except it's very hard to get power and internet to get those maps of where those lines are if you are in Palestine that has been bombed to the ground. So there are people who've gone accidentally a step or two over this not marked anywhere physically line and been shot, which is not great. But the bigger problem in it all is there have still been bombings since the ceasefire from Israel.
Yeah.
And in theory, it is great that Palestine is going to be rebuilt, but that needs to come with the understanding of there is going to be
people living there will be Palestinian.
There is so much potential for land grabs during this, and this to be a great excuse for people who are not the Palestinians to build new buildings that not the Palestinians will be living in.
We picked up the border and marched it 600 miles towards the coast.
Yeah, well, you can see it in the fact that during this ceasefire period, we won't bomb as long as you stay in this area of Palestine for now, which is the area where it's basically just desert. It's just the beach bit of it, so you can't actually grow any crops there. We won't let you go over to the bit where there is arable land you can grow stuff.
No, of course not.
And I want to be positive. about the fact that progress has been made. I genuinely did not think we would get here at this point. I thought this was going to fucking drag on way longer and be worse than... But this is not the finish line.
No.
This is...
And we still need to be very clear. It was absolutely genocide and may continue to be so. And especially, with all the starving going on.
Indeed. And, even if, the ceasefire holds and everything gets rebuilt, you have a nation of people now who are going to be living with the worst kind of fucking trauma.
Yeah.
Of watching their home just fucking leveled. And
that is how you radicalise people.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying, I am not justifying anything, but what I'm saying is, if your goal is to not have people radicalised, leveling their entire fucking place that they live is a great fucking way to radicalise people.
And, historically has been seen to radicalise people.
I could not be that angry at someone who got radicalised by this because I get it. That's a fucking radicalising thing to happen to.
Oh, yeah.
This is about the best recruiting tool for radicalisation you can hope for. We
just have to hope that some charismatic person installed by the CIA doesn't, happen to just step in there. To be honest, I don't know if the current administration's CIA has anywhere near the sort of
puppeting world
that they did a decade ago. But it's exactly the sort of thing you could see the US going, we'll just slip someone in there who's, charismatic, nominally in charge, and, we'll just have to go in there and overthrow them in a decade, even though we train them as an assassin and whatever else. I'm not thinking of any other particular countries.
I want to see this work out, and I want to see Palestine and Gaza rebuilt and become somewhere that is less all of the problems now.
Yeah.
But the number of people I've seen go, this is the end of the thing and everything is good now. It's like, no.
I understand that you would love it to be, but it would
be really easy if that was the case. And I just wish more people were cognizant of, for the people of Gaza, this is far from the end.
Yeah. Yeah. And, this shouldn't be seen as an excuse for UK and America to be like, well, we'll just pop in there and do all the building for you and pay us all that. We'll just extract all the wealth that way. And, if we are, talking about things winding down, if everything is now perfectly all right for Palestine, maybe we take all that energy and protest we've been using for the last couple of years and, point it towards Congo, for example.
Yeah.
Which, we've seen people trying to get more word out, and Sudan and other places as well. But, nominally, we need to do... people have, nominally heard about these things, but all the chants are Free Palestine. Yeah, that is the most publicised one right now, but we do need to think about the other shit as well, and we need to get as behind that as everything else.
Agreed. I get it to a degree that, a lot of governments of nations that we are paying attention to have weirdly vocally put their support behind a genocide on Palestine, which is particularly brought to the forefront. Well, But I do agree there are other genocides happening that the fight to stop global genocides is not done.
No, indeed.
Ugh.
I'd offer you a hug, but I'm still ill.
That sort of distanced mock hug.
I'll sort of hold the arms out.
Yeah.
Give it a couple of weeks, I'm sure I'll be fine again. Yeah. We can be back to hugging.
Yeah, give it, an estimated 3 weeks probably?
Oh, probably. I reckon we could probably be back here in about 3 weeks, and I'm sure I'll be fine. Well, have a good one, mate.
You too.
So, Laura.
Yes?
Will you do things upon the internet?
Yeah, I do stuff.
Where are those things?
Laura K. Buzz pretty much everywhere. Laura K. Buzz on Patreon, that's the one that pays the bills. Blue Sky, Mastodon, if anyone's over there. YouTube, TikTok. Go check out my coverage of Pokemon Legends ZA up on YouTube. There's an episode of Fix Your Heart or Die that went up recently talking about the Elephant Man. Laura K. Buzz, you'll find all the stuff I'm up to.
Yeah.
What about you?
Patreon.com/StonedMonkeyRadio. As little as $1 a month helps me keep doing the things that I hope entertain you.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a new person join recently, which is always appreciated, especially going into winter, where there is very often a drop-off. So, very much appreciated. I appreciate all of you who to continue to support me, especially while we had this brief hiatus. That's it from me, Laura. Will you sing us out, please?
Until next time, be a stranger.